Hi there, Corey. Sorry once again for the arty video. I'm still in the middle of doing painting and decorating. Yeah, I mean, this cake metaphor, I mean, you launched that metaphor, so I'm just picking up on it. But what I take it to that you meant by that, and you were talking about, everyone's given a cake and part of it's delicious and tasty and the other part's got crap all over it. So why eat the crappy bit? Why not eat the tasty bit? It's not really about my response to that wasn't really about the quantity of cake. So if I can just replay back your metaphor, what I take it you're saying there is, life's got good and bad. It's got positives and negatives. It's got pleasures. It's got pains. It's got sufferings. It's got flourishings. It's got ups and downs. It swings and roundabouts. It's that kind of a mixed bag, yeah. And why, if it's a mixed bag, do I or you or anybody else focus on the downside, the crappy side of the cake, the negative, the roundabout rather than the swings? Why do we do that? Yeah, why indeed? Why indeed? Or vice versa, why would anybody focus on the positive ends? I guess because it's interesting. So it's not really about the quantity of good cake. It's about the fact that there's good and bad. And my point was that I, and probably you, and probably everybody who watches this video, are actually doing fine. Really, in the great scheme of things, the chances are we will probably end our lives either in a nursing home under major sedation or in a very quick accident involving public transport. We'll almost certainly not be left out on the ice to die of exposure. We'll almost certainly not have our throats ripped out by wild animals or catch some disease that takes us out slowly and painfully over the years. None of those things are going to happen to us. We're very, very fortunate. But most people aren't, and most of the animal kingdom isn't, and most living things don't have the same benefits that we have. So, yeah, I mean, so it's not really about quantity of access to resources or fairness. I mean, fairness would be a start, and I think, of course, we should be doing what we can to do that. But that's not really the point I was trying to make. It's about, just a recognition of what the cake is, what the cake is. And just the fact that our part of it, that where we stand in relation to the cake, gives us easy access to the jammy, spongy, delicious bit, doesn't justify concentrating on that bit, and doesn't, it should give us pause, I think. Now, that's not to say, of course, that we should beat ourselves up. I certainly don't beat myself up. Well, it may seem like that, and certainly some people seem to think I'm obsessed by death and suffering, just because I make a few videos about it occasionally. But believe me, when I turn this camera off, I will go back to painting the window frames. I may even whistle and probably put some music on at the same time. And later I'll take the dogs for a walk and have a perfectly nice time. And it's almost shocking how easy it is to forget the amount of unpleasantness there is in the world. It surprises me how easily I forget those things, and it surprises me how easy it is to continue. When we think about this, I don't know. Maybe you don't get this, but I don't know. It's strange. You probably had this experience where, I don't know, when you break up with a girlfriend or something, or something tragic in your life happens. Maybe you lose a close friend or something like that, and you just think, well, this is it. This is the end of everything. I can't go on. And then a few hours later, you find yourself just doing something and not a care in the world. And then the realization comes over you again. How can I be continuing? How am I continuing when this woman is no longer in my life? When this friend has died? How can I continue? And then you go back to being kind of self-consciously sad for a while, and then you forget, and you go back to... It's a constant source of surprise to me, that forgetting. I guess it's a lifesaver. But it is surprising. So just that's that. I'm not sure how relevant it is to what you were saying, but that's kind of what I'm thinking on that. Actually, that's just prompted me to think in terms of some of the things I've been thinking about lately, because a lot of my videos lately have been featuring dead animals, just because I'm seeing a lot of them. My attention has been drawn to them, and it doesn't make me sad. I have to say this, probably should, but it doesn't. And I find them fascinating. But it is interesting. Because of this tendency that I guess we all have to forget the unpleasantnesses and to go on and to continue in this endless kind of waiting for Godot moment that we're all kind of locked into, that sometimes I find it quite useful just to stay not forgetting for a while, just to stay not forgetting, and to make little mnemonics that prevent me from forgetting. I don't know, it may not be of any interest to anybody else, and it may even seem self-indulgent. So be it. The other thing is about age of responsibility. Yeah, I kind of agree with you there. Yeah, I mean, we do. The UK is very similar to the US in this. Yeah, I guess we do cost it to our kids a bit too much, and don't give them individual responsibility. Certainly, I'm always. Well, I won't give you the personal stories, but yeah, we probably should send them out earlier, but probably not too early. We shouldn't probably go back to 19th century cotton mills, you know, where kids were sent in between the blades of the loom, you know, at 11 years old, or down pit when they were 9. You know what I mean? I think we probably shouldn't go back to that, and we probably shouldn't do, you know, what happens in those factories where my Nike hat was made. You know, we should probably not go there really. So I guess it is striking a balance. I mean, the hanging story I made in my last video, yeah, it probably was a bit dramatic. Yeah, I suppose I was just picking up on what you'd said, because the example you gave was quite specific. It wasn't about a comfortable or even just a capable family. It wasn't Little House on the Prairie, or what's the other one that that woman wrote? Can't remember. It wasn't this family of who were just kind of doing the job, and then the kid comes up, and as soon as he's able, he contributes, and it's that kind of thing. The example you gave wasn't that. It was a family that was on hard times, where the kid gives over some of his paper money to help out, and I think that is quite significantly different. Maybe not quite as different as somebody hanging themselves, like in Jude the Obscure. I must think of this. Oh God, what is this book? Farmer Boy. Did you know this book, Farmer Boy? It was written by the same author who wrote Little House on the Prairie. Brilliant story. Almanzo is the chief character, really great. And he has that kind of lifestyle, you know. He grows up and his mum and dad just are fantastic. Yes, there's hard times, but they are optimistic and they push through, and the kid helps them push through, and he becomes that kind of a man who can push things through. It's great story, inspiring tale. But it's not a tale of a child coming home, finding his mum crying because she can't pay the rent. So he gives her his paper money. Anyway, thanks for that.